I never thought I would tell this story out loud. For a long time, I wasn't even sure it was a story. It felt more like a collection of moments I didn't know what to do with. I used to believe that if something was wrong in a marriage, you would feel it clearly, like a sharp pain, like an alarm going off inside your head. But that's not how it happened to me. What I felt was uncertainty, little pauses, moments that didn't quite fit but weren't wrong enough to confront. I'm 34 years old. I've been married to my husband, Mike, for 8 years. No kids yet, two steady jobs, a small house we bought together 3 years ago. Nothing dramatic, nothing exciting. The kind of life people call stable. And for a long time, I believed stability meant safety. Before I talk about suspicion, I need to say this clearly. Mike was not a bad husband. He didn't disappear for days. He didn't come home drunk. He didn't treat me badly. He was normal. He made coffee in the mornings. He complained about traffic. He forgot to buy dish soap unless I reminded him. If you had asked me back then whether I trusted him, I would have said yes, without hesitation. That's why what happened later confused me so much. There was no clear moment when everything changed. It was more like waking up one day and realizing the room feels colder than it used to. The first thing I noticed was his phone. Not messages, not calls, just the way he held it. He used to leave it anywhere, on the table, on the couch. Now he always kept it close, on the nightstand, in his pocket, sometimes even in the bathroom. When I asked him about it, he laughed. "Work stuff," he said. "You know how annoying they are." And that explanation made sense, so I accepted it. Still, something stayed with me. Not suspicion, more like awareness. I didn't tell anyone about this, because how do you explain something when you don't even understand it yourself? I kept asking myself questions. Am I bored? Am I projecting? Am I creating problems because life feels too routine? There were days when I felt embarrassed for even thinking about it. Mike hadn't done anything obvious, so what right did I have to feel uneasy? Then there were other changes. He started showering the moment he got home. Not every day, just often enough that I noticed. One evening, when he came home late and did the same thing, I joked, "Long day, or are you trying to wash something off?" It was meant to be playful. He froze, just for a second. Then he laughed and said, "You're weird," and closed the bathroom door. That second stayed with me. Another thing changed slowly, the way he answered questions. Not aggressively, not defensively, just shorter. If I asked where he'd been, the answers were vague, out, busy, stuff. Nothing suspicious on its own, but conversations started to feel incomplete, like I was always missing the last sentence. There was one evening I still remember clearly. We were sitting on the couch. The TV was on, but neither of us was watching. I leaned my head on his shoulder. He didn't move away, but he didn't lean back either. It felt unfamiliar. I remember thinking, when did this start feeling distant? That thought scared me more than any imagined affair, because it meant the distance wasn't sudden. It had been growing quietly. I tried to fix it. I dressed nicer at home. I suggested date nights. I initiated conversations. He agreed to everything, which somehow made it worse, because nothing changed. He was present, but not really there. The day everything shifted started completely ordinary. I was at work. Emails, meetings, noise. My phone buzzed. It was a notification from our smart fridge. Fridge door left open for 5 minutes. I smiled at first, then I remembered something. Mike had texted me earlier saying he was homesick, lying in bed, trying to sleep. I stared at the notification longer than I needed to. It didn't prove anything, but it didn't feel right. Out of habit, I opened the app. Our fridge sends a photo when the door closes. The image loaded slowly. Milk, eggs, leftovers. Nothing strange. Then my eyes moved to the reflection. It was subtle. In the stainless steel, a shape. A woman. Wearing a red bathrobe. My breath caught. I recognized it immediately. I hadn't worn that bathrobe in years. I left it at my mother's house during a visit and never brought it back. At least, that's what I believed. The fridge door was still open. I kept refreshing the app, waiting for the door to close. It didn't. Minutes passed. 5, 10. All I could think was, if he's asleep, who opened the fridge? I didn't plan the phone call. I stepped outside so no one would hear me. When Mike answered, his voice sounded sleepy. "Hey," he said, "what's up?" I asked how he was feeling. "Tired," he said. "I think I'll sleep more." I asked where he was. "In bed," he said. "Why?" I looked at the live feed. The fridge door was still open. I didn't accuse him. I said, "Can you close the fridge?" There was a pause. Not long, but long enough. I added, "You're wasting electricity." Silence. Then the fridge door slammed shut on the screen. I didn't feel anger. I felt empty, like something inside me had finally stopped trying. I ended the call. I changed the door codes that same day, not dramatically, quietly. The messages came later. Confusion, anger, apologies, begging. I didn't respond, because I didn't know what to say. When we finally talked, it wasn't dramatic. We sat at the kitchen table, the same table we ate breakfast at every morning. He didn't deny it. He said it wasn't what it looked like, that it started a long time ago, that it just happened. I asked who she was. He hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. She was my cousin, the one who stayed with us for a week 2 years ago. That hurt more than the affair itself, because it meant I had trusted both of them completely. Mike said it was over, that he loved me, that he didn't want to lose our life. I listened, and I realized something quietly. Love doesn't survive dishonesty. I moved out slowly, box by box. He helped me pack. That was the strangest part. It's been a year. I live alone now. Sometimes my phone still buzzes with useless notifications. Sometimes I still check the fridge app out of habit. But now, when something feels wrong, I don't explain it away. I listen. People ask if I regret knowing. I don't, because uncertainty was worse than the truth. And the moment I stopped doubting myself, I finally felt calm again.